Now I want to ask you about your role in Sonny Carson. When you took that role, how did you feel about it at that time? And then looking back on it in hindsight, like I say, it's definitely a classic. It's a movie that a lot of hip hop artists have sampled. Especially from New York. It was real big. Like Wu Tang and Common and different people. How did you feel about your role specifically, your character?
First of all, it was the most fun experience I've ever had as an actor. You know, um, I think it was my second film, but and it happened. I'm not gonna say haphazardly, because the universe, everything happens in order, in divine order. I just happened to be at a party, and it might have been like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was hanging out with my boys, and then somebody said, "Hey man, they're having this audition tomorrow morning. You an actor, right?" Because I did street theater. My company did a lot of street theater in the parks, and got paid, on street corners. We would rehearse, we would do different things. So somebody knew I was an actor. So they said, "You're an actor, right?" They're having this big cattle call. So I said, "Okay, let me go down there, and we didn't. So I didn't go to sleep. We stayed up all night because I think they had to be there at 8 o'clock or something. Um, and that it was at Sonny Carson's organization, which was, I think, was further down on Monroe Street. And so I went. Me and my couple of my friends went. No, I went by myself that day. And when they called my name, I had to go downstairs. Now, Sonny, to hear from Sonny, he would say that I fell down the stairs. I wouldn't say that. I'm pretty sure I walked. But like I said, I didn't get no sleep. Probably was stoned from smoking weed or whatever it was that I did as a kid. You know, and I did the interview, and they liked me. They said, "Well, come on back." And tomorrow, then they were going to see if you could act or not. So they had but it was like the biggest catcall I had ever seen to this day. And it was a catcall where everybody was in a circle, and all the actors, singers, jugglers, whatever the hell you did, you go in that circle and do it. So me and a couple of my boys that had a couple of scenes that we do in the streets, um, came up, and I talked to Michael Campus. He's the director. You be ready, because I had a date. We had dates with some girls. So he said we got to be at a certain time. We didn't really care about the movie that much. It was, this is what we did. It was fun. It was something I enjoyed. And I kept saying, "All right, Mike, can we go?" He said, "No, I want you to wait. 10 people go. Say, hey, Mike, can I go, go? No, we want you to wait, you know. And then maybe 2 hours later, said, look, maybe 3 hours. I said, I'm leaving. And he said, go. And we just blew them away. And, and that's how I got the gig. I had to go to Paramount to audition again, more formally. And I did that. And with the help of Jerry Bell, J. Eric Bell, who played Little Boy, who was one of my buddies, and he came from the same school, but he was working already. He was a pro already. He helped me prepare when we got to Paramount, so I could get this gig, and I did, and that was a beautiful thing. But it was, most of the people in there were real gang members. Most of the cast, you know. Wow, damn, it's been so long. I try to get the name. I know them by heart. Rainbow's the guy that was in the Lords with the big hat. He was a real gang member. Not only a real gang member, he was a leader of the Jolly Stompers. He led the Jolly Stompers and the gangs around him. So a little chaos. Every time we went on the set, something was going on, and then you had the Tomahawks, and that was the real name, of the Tomahawks. There was real gang members, most of them, except for Roger Hill. Roger Hill was he was a seasoned actor. He's been acting since he was a little kid. Um, but the other guys, real gang members. And I remember, and I was just being me. I'm friendly with everybody, and so I was hanging out with the leader, the godfather of the Tomahawks, and he invited me. Hey, come on, hang out with me. Go with me. And so we got in the car, and now I got the jacket on of the Lloyds, and everybody in the Lloyds most people in the Lloyds were the Jolly Stomper gang from Brooklyn. So I got the jacket on, and when I got in the car, it's like 5 people deep. All the other dudes got real quiet. I had to turn around and say, "Yo, I'm an actor." You know, I'm an actor. It was a difference between the two gangs. The Jolly Stompers were chaos. They would just, fly off the hat. The Tomahawks had discipline. They were like an army. You know, they had they had leadership. They had ranks, and it went down that way. And I was just surprised to see the difference because I was never in a gang. The difference between the two, and but it was a lot of fun when they had that big giant fight scene. Fortunately and unfortunately, I wasn't there. I wanted to be in that scene because they had some special shots for me to do. Where I come out winning and come out looking good. But my father passed away the first day of the shoot at Sonny Carson. And so when that scene was shot, I was at my father's funeral. But looking back, like I said, everybody's in a gang and there was no discipline, there was no choreography, it was none of that stuff. So those kids were just running around, really hitting each other. You know, if you watch that big fight scene, and I mean, they held back some, but just examine that scene. They looked really like they were hurting each other, and some people did. Um, they turned over. I wasn't there that day, but they turned over the truck for extras to get paid. That truck got turned over, and the money was gone. And I think it was between the gang members and the people in the truck. I think the people in the truck took most of that money and said the gang members took it. It was very interesting shoot. I loved the experience.
Wow, that's real history. I really appreciate you sharing that. You had made a point about the real gang members. My man, I think his name was Wolf. Did you know him? Derek Champ Ford.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Butch. Yeah, yeah. He was pretty cool.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forgot the guy. It was a he was vice president. The president was supposed to do it, but the president had went to jail, and he, I'm kind of glad because he was kind of a little unhinged, of the Tomahawks. I forgot what his name was, but it was a big write up in the Times at the time because he got really hurt in Rikers Island, you know, because but he had jumped about maybe 20 or 30 dudes and broke a whole bunch of stuff on him. But he just had that energy that wasn't, I met him just before he went to when we first started doing it and during the casting period. He was a dangerous dude. Now Wolf is dangerous too, but Wolf got humanity to him or something. You know what I mean? He had something about him that you liked. He had a personality that was, he do what he had to do, but he had a personality that was cool. But the other dude, I forgot what his name was, he didn't. And then there was the Godfather. Now the Godfather of the Tomahawks, he's the guy. He was in the movie too, but you saw him. He was the guy that was in jail. He played Willie. The one that the guards threw off the thing. That's Willie. And the one that in the movie he says, I forgot what he says. They got me in the hole, something like that. Um, and beat him up. But yeah, that's the Godfather. He was real cool too. Yeah. They were in a different. I didn't hang with them all the time because they were in a different trailer, different gang. Than the guys that were in the gangs that played with me, that played the Lloyds. But I hung out with those guys. I could go back and forth. One, I wasn't in the gang, and they knew I was an actor. But like I said, that it was so tense that first day in that car with the towel, because they was like looking, waiting for their boss to say, "Get him," you know. you know. But we had to explain that, hey, that's not what's happening here.